All right, so I just finished up a couple of residencies, actually. Three, as a matter of fact, with dogs that had heightened instinctual drives to varying degrees that weren't being spent. They were going nowhere. They each had decent to high prey drives. They were working breeds, and their owners were trying, and some of them were confused. Some of them really, two of them really just didn't understand the nature of the breed in their dog, and there was a gap in understanding, I think, that was really at the core of a lot of their issues. They just didn't get it, and it wasn't their fault, because they're really cute dogs, and people would never suspect. For instance, like, great example, just finished up with Frankie Spanky, the Patterdale Terrier. He is one of the cutest fucking dogs. I mean, Franklin is one of my all-time favorites. Like, I love that breed especially, but he was just a very special dog for a lot of reasons. But anyway, he's like, I think he's like 15 pounds, and he's a fucking savage. You gotta look up on YouTube, Patterdale Terrier hog hunting, and you will see some horrific, gory shit. They use them as catch dogs, not as bay dogs, like bark at a pig or whatever animal they're trying to catch and harass it, and then the guys come and shoot it or whatever. Or maybe they'll have like a Dogo Argentino, which is like, they look like Cane Corsos, but they're white, and those things will take, a couple of those will take the boar down like a lion would, just, chew on its throat. And then the guys, you gotta cut the balls off boars, otherwise their skin putrefies if you shoot them, and it's a way of, like, whatever, it's something they evolved with to protect against predators. So you gotta, like, cut their balls off, then kill them. It's crazy. So anyway, Patterdale Terriers are used in boar hunting, like them and Yak Terriers, which is another crazy little breed. But the Yak Terriers are not as cute as the Patterdales. And Patterdales look like almost like bigger Chihuahuas, but like way cuter than a Chihuahua. And they can be really sweet and gentle, just like Malinois can. And they're similar to Malinois in some regards, except they're terriers, so they have the tenacity of terriers and that heightened prey drive as well. That is really a terrier trait as well. But they're just tenacious, and they'll set out like 3, 4, 5, whatever of them, and they will go, and they'll either help take down a boar or they'll do it themselves. So look it up on YouTube if you don't believe me. But tenacious little dogs, and they have very high prey drives. And Franklin there was a lot of stuff going on. He was a brand new dog for these guys, but he was looking out the window all day, like, and then he wanted to hunt little dogs. Like, really, he thought they were prey. So what was happening was he wasn't spending that instinctual energy. And I have a new name for this. I call it Louis C.K. syndrome in dogs. So and I fucking am really bummed out about the whole Louis C.K. thing, because he's always been a guy I've admired. Like, I considered, I guess I still do, I mean, he's just a fucking weirdo. I don't look at him like I do Harvey Weinstein. I think that guy's a rapey fucking creep. I think Louis C.K.'s a creep, but it's like he's a compulsive fucking weirdo one who just did some weird, impulsive, strange shit that wasn't necessarily malicious, but he should have known better. There's no defending it. But it's not, I don't put him in the same category as Harvey Weinstein. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, a lot of comedians, right, when they were younger, they like didn't get laid, and that's part of why they're funny, because they're just suffering their whole lives. And then they get famous, right, and now they have all these female admirers, and it's like, well, what was it? who was that creepy guy for who was in Nixon's cabinet? The fucking German dude. Power is the ultimate aphrodisiac. Henry Kissinger. You know, but power is, and I guess that's why Louis C.K. was fucked up, because he did have some power in that situation. Really, Harvey Weinstein totally did, but fame is in wealth for aphrodisiacs. And all of a sudden, these dudes get famous, and it's like, woo, they're super insecure guy. It's basically like giving a homeless person like $500,000, right? So there was a documentary where they gave a homeless dude $100,000 just to see what would happen. Like predictable ending, you know. Like give me $100,000, I'll fuck up year easy, fuck it up. I wouldn't fuck my life up. I'd just buy a bunch of nonsense for the dogs and then wonder where the fucking money went, you know. So it's like that, but they all of a sudden can get laid. And they don't know how to handle it. They're like, oh, and they're all different about it. And, you know, like comedians, just a lot of them have hang-ups with women too, again, because I think they've been insecure about it. Like they've been kind of nerdy or weird. And they've been getting rejected a lot in their lives, you know. And then all of a sudden, there's a lot of like, we'll call it like chauvinism too, or like low-level misogyny, like fucking Bill Burr is an example. I think Bill Burr is great, but like, you know, he's got issues with women. And so these dudes come in and they got shit going on with women a little bit. And then all of a sudden it's like, here's the keys to the castle. Go fuck. You know, and they're not going to do it right. So they have these repressed urges, and then they just do it all wrong when they get the chance. With these dogs, it's kind of, there's a lot of parallels there. So you're repressing instinct basically, and it comes out in funky ways. So the Shetland Shepherd Jr., he needs to chase. He needs to stalk, chase, pounce, maybe bite a little bit. He doesn't kill and disembowel, or multiple components to prey drive, but super high prey drive. He just didn't have a high drive to actually bite, kill. Wasn't going anywhere. Didn't get to do that. You know, like the owner was good. She understood he wasn't a child, wasn't babying him, tell him yes and no, you know, but she had seen like a sort of a dog whispery kind of guy, and whatever. It was better than nothing probably, but the dog didn't have anywhere to put that energy. He was trying to nail everyone who walked by him on 55th Street, you know. And in order for him to move forward in his life and not do that, he's going to have to chase a ball daily, chase a flirt pole daily, play a little bit of gameplay, play tug, do some off-leash stuff, something. You've got to give him something every day. Agility work too helps, but he really needs to channel those instincts. Otherwise, you're just suppressing nature, and when you do that, it's always a disaster. And so I said to all these owners, Chiefs owners as well, I said, well, it would basically be like if you didn't have sex for 5 or 10 years, how would you feel? You'd start to get a little weird. You'd be a little creepy. And I wasn't saying it to be crude, or even, I wasn't even really laughing. I mean, it's a perfect analogy. So if you have a dog that has a certain pedigree, I have a guy who's Doberman I might train. This Doberman is getting skittish and weird and showing fear aggression and like some fear biting tendencies. And I talked to the guy, and the dog comes from a pedigree. His mother and father were like, I think they were titled in French ring, or they were competitive in it at least. And I'm like, dude, what do you mean? He said he saw a trainer, and the trainer was like, no, you got to suppress his prey drive. So I said to him, I'm like, well, can you suppress your sex drive? Maybe for a little bit, you know, but it's, you gotta put that somewhere eventually, you know, at least until you get a little bit older and the testosterone's mostly gone. But like, you know, you gotta do it. You gotta do it. So it's just like that with the dog. And I'm like, man, he's just getting like, he's getting weird because you're not taking that energy and putting it someplace. And I think that's kind of a loose parallel for what happened with Louis C.K. Not exactly, but these are dudes. A lot of famous guys, but comedians in particular, are just eccentric, kind of crazy people to begin with, and then they have all these sexual hang-ups a lot of times. Jimmy Norton, listen to some of his shit. Oh, he's real creepy with his sexual peccadillos, so like, they got a lot of trauma in their past, these guys, and it translates into a lot of borderline paraphilia sexually, and there's a lot of repression there because they maybe lacked confidence growing up and stuff like that. It gets weird, and then all of a sudden they get a chance to do it, and they do it all wrong. Well, the difference is with the dog, when you give it a chance to do it, as long as you know what you're doing, they're going to get better, And maybe, Louis needed a trainer to just be like, don't masturbate right now. Shh, give me the Caesar Milan claw. Put your clothes back on. All right, that's it.